So it provides a lot of info on the 5 serial killers, which are the 5 main bosses of the game. And I think it's useful to know that now. Soon after, you find another book, which is called The Prophecy. But I'm not going to show you or read you The Prophecy, because it's not really useful to read it at this point, and it contains actually lots of spoilers. So I don't want to spoil the game for you. So The Prophecy, we're going to ignore it, but Thomas Deacon, PI, so private investigation. I was unsure earlier if it was a cop or a private investigator. So he's a PI. One Price Plaza, Glen Cove, New York. Yeah, from New York. Okay. 555, like in all the telephones in all the movies. I remember what they talked about in Last Action Hero. Anyway, Agneta. So Agneta is the name of the voodoo priestess who... Nettie, Agneta, that's her. Here is the information you requested regarding the 5 serial killers, referred to by yourself as the 5. My research has led me into areas I do not normally pursue. No demon spore, Asmodeus, as far as I can see. So the demon spore Asmodeus, you actually meet him in Shadow Man Second Coming, but he's not at all in the first game. I think he's a lot in the comics. Anyway, my sources tell me that each report is as current as it can be, especially the reports on Batrakian, Cruz, and Pike. See, serial killer, Ted Cruz. They knew it already in 1999. They fucking knew it. Actually, the serial killer is called Marco Cruz, so he's the mix of he's the fusion of Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio. So it's a Republican serial killer. Anyway, the Batrakian report, so Batrakian is the German guy I talked about earlier, is particularly up to date with a news item included that is only a week old. When studying the information of particular note is the inclusion of symbols and poems at the crime scenes, along with the phrase, "For we are many," taken, I believe, from the Bible. Mark, chapter 5, verse 9. Yeah. Are these guys in cahoots? Or is it... I think the expression in cahoots is really goofy, and it's funny that they use it there in such a serious and dark context. Or is it simply coincidence? Knowing you as I do, Nettie, I cannot believe it's the latter. It's not. Anyway, hope the stuff proves useful. Best regards. So, serial killer report number 1, name Dr. Victor Karl Batrakian. Aliases. Oh, they always have funny aliases. Aliases: Dr. Arthur Falkus, Dr. Gunther Schaden, Dr. Wilhelm Karch, Dr. Gerhard Müller. Not so funny. Date of birth, April 8th, 1961. Height, 6 foot 2 inches. I didn't remember he was so tall. Place of birth, Geneva, Switzerland. No, this is not German. I think he's from the German part of Victor Batrakian. Sounds German. Victor Karl Batrakian is all those German names. So Geneva, I think it's in the French part of Swiss, because Swiss is divided in 3 parts: Italian, French, and German. Anyway, eyes gray. Course. That's badass. Sex, male, see that? Weight, 198 pounds, just like me. Hair, ash brown, gray eyes and ash brown hair. This guy is badass. Race, white, yep. Scars and marks. Small scar on left temple. Yeah, the textures in-game are not really detailed enough to notice that. Background. Born Geneva, Switzerland, the son of a wealthy Swiss banker. Huh. Rothschild, huh? Bankers, stop that. A brilliant student, Batrakian graduated from Cambridge University in 1985 with a PhD in forensic psychiatry. Doctoral thesis, defining ASPD, the psychopathology of antisocial personality disorder. Ironic. Oh. Batrakian spent the following 4 years at the London Medical School training to become a general practitioner, MD. Was expelled from the school without completing the course, exact details unavailable. Yeah, he probably dissected a fellow student, some shit like that. I don't know. Put some frogs in the bag of his teacher. Anyway, immigrated to US in early 1991 using forged certificates to gain green card. Build a wall! Established medical practice in Boston 1993 using the name Dr. Arthur Falkus in partnership with Dr. Sean McRose. McRose was found dead in suspicious circumstances in 1994. Dr. Falkus subsequently disappeared with several $1,000s of the practice's money. Batrakian resurfaced 6 months later as Dr. Gunther Schaden with a new medical practice in South Bend, Ohio. Ohio. That's where they killed Harambe. Bad place. Was indicted on 5 counts of murder following the discovery of an insurance fraud involving... Man, the guy got caught because of insurance fraud. It's like Al Capone who got caught because he cheated on his taxes. That's crazy. Those criminals, those wacky criminals. Involving 5 of his patients, all wealthy widows who had willed him their entire fortunes and were subsequently found dead of natural causes. Batrakian, as their doctor, has signed all 5 death certificates. Sure. Captured by state police as he was about to cross the state line into Indiana, Batrakian absconded from the Butler County Sheriff's Office after killing 2 deputies. So he did not shoot the sheriff, but he did shoot the deputies, and wounding a 3rd. At this point, December 1995, Batrakian appeared on the FBI's most wanted list. In December 1995, a handwritten letter with an Abilene postmark arrived at the offices of the Dallas Morning News. That was the whole file was much shorter in my memory. This is gonna take, sometimes the whole video was gonna be like 40 minutes, but I don't care. The offices of the Dallas Morning News see attachment number 1 in it. The writer intimated, somewhat obscurely, that they intended to commit several blood sacrifices. The writer of the letter has since been identified as Batrakian. In January 1996, the corpse of a young man, never satisfactorily identified, was discovered in a derelict boathouse on the shores of Lake Fort Phantom Hill, Texas. Forensic examination showed that the head of the corpse has quite literally exploded, as though from some great and unnatural internal pressure. A strange symbol, figure 1, that's gonna be a lizard thing, had been branded onto the left side of the victim's chest. Over the next year and a half, 12 more murders followed, all with the same modus operandi: exploded head. Like the tire in Rubber. If you haven't seen the movie Rubber, you gotta see it right now. Post the video, go see the movie. Best movie, one of the best movies ever made. Anyway, the head exploded like the proverbial fish who explodes all the time, and the left side of the chest branded with symbol. FBI agents captured Batrakian in August of 1997. He was subsequently convicted on 15 counts of first-degree murder and sentenced to die in the electric chair. See, this is the lizard. So that's each serial killer of the 5 has a symbol that is attached to them that symbolizes them. And Victor Batrakian is it's a lizard. Not sure why, but he refers to himself all the time as the Lizard King. I never could figure out if it was a Doors reference, you know, Doors the band, and the Lizard King. Jim Morrison referred to himself as the Lizard King. It's not clear in the game if there's a relation. I don't know. Anyway, he is currently on death row at Gardell County Penitentiary, awaiting the results of his second appeal and achieving a certain notoriety in artistic circles with what he calls his asylum installations. Yeah, artists. See, remember Hitler? Artist is always evil. Yeah, this guy is a painter, and he's German. Bad. Anyway, what did I want to say? Gardell County Penitentiary. That's one of the big levels of the game. It's in life side, obviously, and 3 of the 5 serial killers are located there. So, of course, it's in life side, so Shadow Man does not have his powers, so he's very vulnerable. And this is kind of an interesting level. So, Gardell County Jail. Indeed, London's Golgotha Art Gallery recently bought one of his Schismata paintings for several. So the guy is a serial killer on death row, and London Art Gallery's boss buys one of his paintings. Art people are all assholes. Attachment number 1. Letter to Dallas Morning News, handwriting identified as belonging to Victor Batrakian. Dear Sir, I have brought his kingdom to the earth, and a bloody cleansing is nigh. Indeed, it is well overdue. I am the leader of the 5, the watchers at the gate of souls. We shall make the way for the coming of his glorious army, and as a fanfare, we demand several sacrifices. Blood sacrifices for his pleasure. So be aware, then, that the road to your Golgotha shall be slippery with your blood, for we are many. It's kind of motto of the evil persons in the game. Serial Killers Legion, they'll say, for we are many. I remain, as ever, disrespectfully yours, the Lizard King. So that's it for Victor Karl Batrakian. And attachment number 2. Update news story from front page of Clifford Chronicle dated 1 week ago, and it's fucking unreadable. I can't see shit. Oh man, if you can, pause the video, read the thing. I'm gonna go to the next. Attachment number 3, another one. Poem found at crime scene clutched in hand of victim. The Lizard King shall lead the 5. From out the southern Gaul shall cut his bloody swathe. That's bad poetry. True hate shall find a way. In him the darkness stands revealed. That sounds like Vogon poetry. Really. His eyes as void as a dead man's gaze, as cold as the light from a dying star. For we are many. Again. So next, the next guy on the list is this guy, Marco Roberto Cruz. Serial killer number 2, aliases Roberto Sicilia, Brian Gillett, Jesus Moretta, Max Clayton, Solomon Sully Fripp. Date of birth, March 13, 1968. Hair dark brown, sex male, eyes light brown, height 5'10", light brown eyes and 5'10", just like me. Race white, weight 168 pounds, quite slim and slender. Birthplace Boulder City, Nevada. Boulder City. I don't know if that's real or not. I don't know if that place is real or not, but that name is funny. Scars and marks heavily tattooed on upper body. Scar on left cheek. Words lover boy tattooed on knuckles of both hands. Background. From February to November 1996, Marco Roberto Cruz kidnapped and murdered 10 people, preying on couples mainly in and around Death Valley and the Mojave Desert. So, nice little Fallout reference there. And yeah, I know that Fallout New Vegas was some years after. I know there's some shitheads in the comment who are gonna say, but no! Don't. Or do. It's the shitposting channel after all. The following symbol was found nearby each victim, figure 1. So that's some kind of, I don't know what's it's supposed to be. Maybe lightning that's badly done. Maybe I could see it as an you know what, a crank. You know, they use for big nuts, big nuts, big nut. Or maybe some kind of weapon, like I don't know. It's a crank. It's a crank for repairing car tires. The following, you see, we can see lots of rubber references. First, we had the heads exploding. Now we have the car tire crank. The following poem was also found near each of the victims. For in the western deserts he finds a form. He is the child with the mouth of blood, the bleakness before the beginning of time. He is the glint of ice in a murderer's eye, the savage heart of every crime. For we are many. Ironically, oh man. Ironically, Cruz actually worked as a repo man for 5 years. He also worked as a DJ and had an auto shop business at one time. Served 7 years for the armed robbery and aggravated assault. No previous convictions for homicide, but was implicated in several killings with a lack of evidence to convict. On October the 14th, 1996, Cruz gave himself up to marshals in Austin, Texas. The bodies of his last victims still hidden beneath a tarpaulin in back of his pickup truck. He was indicted on 10 counts of first-degree murder and is currently incarcerated at Gardell County Penitentiary, awaiting execution. It is not known whether he is among the inmates involved in the riot at the jail. He is. Serial killer report number 3. Oh, so this one is the all-American guy. This one is the average European's vision of the average American, Milton T. Pike. This guy is the embodiment of the USA. Aliases: Bobby McArdle, Bobby McNabb, Billy Joe Balboa, Franklin P. Tyndall, Rocky Mason, Shalimar Waters. That's so funny. Date of birth: July the 4th, 1952. Hair black, sex male, eyes brown. Height: 6'1", race white, weight 240 pounds. Place of birth: Miami. Scars and marks: flaming skull tattoo. Yeah, it's a flaming skull tattoo. You don't get more USA than that. With inscription: born to raise hell. 200% American. On left side of chest. Scars on upper lip and chin. Background: Vietnam veteran. Still, we're on the extremely American Green Beret. Special Forces electronic countermeasures expert. Dishonorably discharged in 73 following alleged rape of female officer. Upon discharge, worked as a TV repairman from 1974 to 1980. Indicted in the shooting of his mother, Francine Pike, in 1979, but was acquitted due to lack of evidence. Joined American Knights of the Cross, survivalist militia group. This guy is USA in a human body. In 1981, formed own breakaway splinter group, Knights of the American Heartland, with fortified compound located near Eureka, Florida. The identifying symbol of the KAH is remarkably similar to the crossed spears symbols. See attachment number 1C. found on stickers affixed to the videotapes sent by the video nasty offender to various state police officials. So video nasty is the next guy, and it's really you're most likely aware of the meme of the moment, one of the memes of the moment, which is the Chad something versus the Virgin something. Probably my favorite meme of 2017, and this is really him and the video nasty killer. It's really the Chad mass murderer versus the Virgin serial killer. It's like 100% this. It's so memey, and they're both really American. You're gonna see that. So it's really exotic shit, but for me it is. Anyway, KAH incorporated into National Militia Organization in 1982, with subsequent expulsion later that year following Pike's murder of 18 of his own militiamen with a rocket-propelled grenade. Yeah. Returned briefly to TV repair business in 1982 to 84, and during this time the FBI discovered that he subscribed to every known electronics-based periodical and magazine. Fucking nerd. Became Forest Ranger in 1996 under assumed name. Yes, of course. The guy is suspected to having killed his mom, and he murdered 18 of his own militiamen. But yeah, let's make him a Forest Ranger. USA! USA! Under assumed name Franklin P. Tyndall, working in Cypress National Preserve in the Everglades. Cypress National Preserve, cool rap band from the 90s. In the Everglades with a specialty in alligator preservation. In 1991, he was arrested following the murder of a hiker in the Cypress National Preserve. Escaped from custody, killing 2 sheriff's deputies in the process. Sensing a pattern. Pike's whereabouts were unknown from 1991 to 1995. From December 1995 to September 1996, Pike murdered 9 women, disposing of their bodies in numerous locations. There's a bunch of women killed in 95 and 96. In Florida, South Carolina, I don't know. Pike was known by the sobriquet Video Nasty Killer. Also, he was the Video Nasty Killer? So the next one was... Anyway, Pike was known by the sobriquet Video Nasty Killer due to the fact that state police in all of the states mentioned above were the unfortunate recipients of videotapes showing in horrific detail the hunting down and subsequent slaughter of at least 6 of the above victims. That's amazing. That also is as American as it gets. The guy filmed himself chasing and murdering his victims, and then he sent the videotapes to the police, like saying, "Hey, seen that, guys? Is that awesome? What you gonna do about it, bitches?" It's really the Chad. The following poem was found nearby each of the victims. And lo, if war should have a face, this one of 5 will show that bleeding mask, ears pricked to savor every scream, teeth bared to strip the carcass wet, and tongue to lap that vessel dry. For we are many. Pike was captured by the FBI agents in October 96 following a series of anonymous tip-offs. The caller gave his code name as Legion. 3 agents were killed and 5 wounded in the furious gun battle that followed. Pike severely wounded himself, eventually passed out due to blood loss, and was taken to the Dallas Memorial Hospital, where he remained in a critical condition for several days. Following his recovery, he was tried and convicted on 11 counts of first-degree murder. One of the FBI agents had subsequently died of his wounds, and is currently incarcerated at Gardell Penitentiary, awaiting execution. As with the previously mentioned offender and fellow death row inmate Marco Roberto Cruz, it is not known whether Pike is among the prisoners involved in the riot at Gardel. Of course, he is. I've played the game, I should know. Attachment number 1C, photograph of crossed spears. So, yeah, that's obviously crossed spears. Symbol affixed to videotape sent to state police. Next, so previous one was the Chad. This one, the Virgin. Serial killer report number 4. Criminal profile of serial offender known as the Home Improvement Killer. So, the Virgin. Home Improvement. Background. It is estimated that the offender known as the Home Improvement Killer has so far murdered 12 people of both sexes over a period of 2 years in and around the New York area. That's really Florida versus New York, Chad versus Virgin. See what I mean? A peculiar facet of this offender's signature behavior is that he leaves behind the skull of a baby canary. Hidden inside the skull is a piece of rolled up paper torn from a notebook. Written neatly on the paper in black ink is a poem, attachment number 2A, beneath which is drawn an arcane symbol, figure 1. So that's a nail. That's a nail, right? I think that's a nail. Profile. A reclusive individual, introvert bitch, white male in his late 20s, of low intelligence with a background in carpentry. Introverted personality, yeah. Has a strong misogynist tendency. Yeah, this guy is the Virgin. Strong misogynist tendency with particular emphasis on mother resentment, virgin on psychosis. Disorganized in his personal life, yet highly organized insofar as his modus operandi for each killing is concerned. Yeah, this guy is such a geek. All of which seem to have taken place at night. Sightings. Suspect possibly seen leaving the scene of the crime westbound along Braddock Avenue in the early hours of August the 13th, 1999. So that's after the release of the game. Description given. White male, 25 to 30. 5'8", 6 foot tall. Weight 150. Oh, beanpole. Dark brown hair. Pale complexion. Yeah, it never goes outside. Possibly wearing night vision goggles. Prime suspect name Avery Marks. Aliases Mark Aviary. Oh, that's funny, because Aviary, because he lives a Canary Head. Or Ellen Hickox, because he loves cocks. Whatever. Date of birth, January the 18th, 1973. Hair dark brown, sex male, eyes brown. Height 5'9", race white. Weight 155 pounds. Scars and marks none. Place of birth, New York. Background. Indicted in 1997 for attack on young woman in Greenwich Village. Disappeared while on bail, paid for by mother. Also wanted for subsequent murder of Mrs. Cassie Marks. Offenders without mother. So yeah, his mother bails him out, he kills her. Typical virgin, typical geek. February 1998, victim found in darkened bedroom. Offender had apparently switched off the power in her apartment house. Known to keep birds. Present whereabouts unknown. Attachment number 1A, photo of furniture. So yeah, he made a furniture, probably from his mother's remains. That's probably his mother's skin, and he made, yeah, it's typical Freudian bullshit. Really typical. We all know this kind of person. We all know this kind of people. Anyway, attachment number 2A, poem found at crime scene, rolled up neatly inside skull of baby canary. From the east, the idiot monster cometh with nails to announce its blasphemous intent. In steel dark chambers, it awaits the shadow. The hedgehog. No. Ebon body, scars of power, dark messiah with the highest strength. For we are many. And the last one, last but not least, serial killer report number 5, criminal profile of serial offender known as Jack 2. So, yeah, this why they call him Jack 2, because that's the real Jack the Ripper, but he traveled in time to 1999, so they think it's a copycat who is imitating Jack the Ripper, but it's the real Jack the Ripper who time traveled from 1888 to 1999. Anyway, this offender, known as Jack 2, for reasons that will become evident later in this report, preys solely on women, striking late at night, in the early hours of the morning, or near London Underground stations in the East End of London. The offender has so far murdered 4 women. No, much more, but you don't know about that, do ya? So you see the names of the women, which are really similar to the names of the women killed by the real Jack the Ripper, which is the same guy, but in 1888 he killed a bunch of women, very similar names, as you can see. When compared against the 5 murders perpetrated in London between August 31 and November 9, 1888, by the offender known as Jack the Ripper, we can see some striking similarities, so that's what I was telling you. As can be seen when comparing the above lists, all the latest victims have very similar names. Yeah, I said it already, guys. Can we move on? So the original victims and the recent locations when looked at on the map of London are very close to the 1888 murder sites. There are further similarities in that the recent murders by Jack 2 have almost identical MOs to the 1888 killings, with the difference that he does the Mark of Legion, which is the symbol which we already talked about for the 4 other killers. Profile. The frenzy of each attack seemed to indicate a highly disturbed individual who is sexually and socially inadequate with extreme misogynist tendency. That's normal for British people. I think they're all like that. Channeling his anger against women. Post-mortem mutilation shows no medical knowledge. Offender is an introverted loner. Yeah, she's English, so that's normal. Who will pass unnoticed through his chosen killing grounds and as such will definitely return to the scene of his crimes. The Invisible Man. Sightings. The metaphorically invisible, of course. The similarities between this case and the one in 1888 extend to the appearance of the 2 offenders. Compare the artist's impression of the offender at the beginning of this report, based on a description offered by a witness who saw Anna Chaplin, a known prostitute, talking to a man outside Shoreditch Station on the night of September the 8th, with that of the man in figure 2, a contemporary impression of that Jack the Ripper. Prime suspect. Scotland Yard has no prime suspects at present. Attachment number 1B, discovered scrawled in white chalk on a wall near Whitechapel Station on the morning following the murder of Mary Nicholas. The watchers at the Gate of Souls shall make the way. The 5 are red in tooth and claw. The head, the heart, the hands, the teeth, the eyes, all combine to create the 5, for we are many. My British accent is awful, I know, but I like it. And so you see his symbol as a pedestal with an eye on it. And if you were observant, you already saw this symbol on one of the paintings done by Victor Karl Batrakian, the first serial killer, the first of the 5, the Lizard King. Attachment number 2B, though that's the knife, symbol of the knife. Discovered scroll in white chalk on a wall near sword. Yeah, the pedestal with the eyes is the symbol of Legion, not of Jack. The symbol of Jack is the knife. The knife shall carve its bloody ritual, a sanguinary return to a darker place. Flesh running cold with the shedding of tears, to shred, to cut, to slice, to know the weeping wound and its glooming soul, for we are many. That's as English as I can get. That's gonna be it for this one. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was fun, entertaining, interesting. And if you wanted more gameplay and action, go right to the next video, because there's gonna be many. That's cool. That's all. Peace, guys.